Yo, what's going on, Vikings fans? Skol back again with another Minnesota Vikings video. First off, haven't seen you guys the past 2 days. Just want to say Merry Christmas. Took the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day off. Enjoy it with family. Watch the Vikings get their, frankly, butts handed to them on Christmas Day with my entire family. So that was great. Anyways, got a little Vikings chain. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I was talking about it on one of my live streams. I was going to get a chain that says Skol. Got a little Vikings chain. Add a little drip, add a little flair to the podcast YouTube thing. Anyways, this is a game review. Frankly, I am shocked at what happened yesterday. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just really disappointed. That was embarrassing. And that's when we're talking about New Orleans Saints, Minnesota Vikings. Vikings got their butts handed to them on Christmas Day. Yesterday, full game breakdown, game review. Coming to you right now. All right, and if you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel. It means a ton. Helps me out a lot. Anyways, let's talk about the game. Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints. Saints came in there at 6.5-point favorites, and they, from the first drive, they established the run, and they didn't really look back. You know, the first drive, Kamara rips a 40-yard touchdown. I remember I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my family. I'm just like, he might have a record-setting day. There's a good chance he could break records today on Christmas Day, and he just tied it. I mean, he just tied the 6 rushing touchdown record. But I think really that the Vikings getting the ball ran down their throat over and over again yesterday. I just think it embodies who Mike Zimmer is as a coach. You know, listen, I am under the impression right now where I don't care what the Vikings do with Zimmer. You know, I can see an argument why they should bring him back, but if they fire him, I am not going to be upset at all. Because the thing that's so frustrating about yesterday is, yes, I could sit here and I could say this. I could say, listen, we had Danielle Hunter out. We had Michael Pierce out. We had Anthony Barr out. We had Eric Kendricks out. We had Troy Dye out. We had Todd Davis out. I could go down the injury list and just constantly name names as why that's my argument we lost. You don't lose to a team like that in that way just because of injuries. There is a fundamental, a philosophical problem with this football team. And sometimes people are so scared of change and scared of moving on from certain things because they feel comfortable in those situations. The Vikings need to move on. I mean, there needs to be something changed. Zimmer either needs to go or he needs to change his philosophy. I don't think this is a coaching thing. I mean, it is a coaching thing. It's a coaching philosophy thing. But I think there's an answer within Zimmer still being here. But there's also an answer without Zimmer being here. Anyways, I'm getting a little off track. Let's talk about the game. Again, Kamara, up and down the field, running the ball down our throat. That was the story of the game. I'm just going to start ripping the defense. Harrison Smith, Anthony Harris, the best safety tandem in the league. Listen, I understand, guys. I get it. It's Christmas Day. I mean, I can put myself in your shoes. But how do you not get up for a game like this? You know, you have a slim chance of making the playoffs, and you go out there and you put out that on the football field. It was frankly really embarrassing. I mean, it was embarrassing out of Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris. I mean, Harrison Smith, Aikman called him out on one play. The amount of times Harrison Smith, I get you shouldn't be tackling a running back at the sticks, but that is your job. If they break the first and 2 levels of the defense, you're the hitman. You're supposed to come down there and make tackles. Same with Anthony Harris, just sloppy form. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing to watch them play football yesterday out of the safety positions. And the thing that makes me so mad is that they're supposed to be our tandem. They're supposed to be the guys that still hold it down. And you're setting the example of you almost quitting on your football team later on in the year just because the year didn't go perfectly as it was supposed to. I just don't know what to say about them, Anthony Harris and Harrison Smith yesterday. I mean, you can blame everything you want on the coaching staff. You can blame Zimmer. You can blame anybody else you want. You can blame the injuries, but you also have to hold those two accountable. And I understand that they are the stars of the defense, but they played awful yesterday. Same with Jeff Gladney. Jeff Gladney missed tackles. He is a great tackling corner. He's a rookie. I'm not going to get too hard on him. He was still playing hard, but he had a rough day tackling, which allowed Kamara to run the way he did. You do not run like that and have those amount of touchdowns, those amount of yards that easily, I mean, you have to be dominating the entire defense. You don't just dominate the front seven. I mean, if you dominate the front seven, you know, you won't break off some of these runs that he did. It was sloppy tackling his secondary, and they just really ran all over us. And the Vikings defense actually got a couple breaks with Drew throwing the ball away. And then you look back on offense, and after the huge interception in the red zone by the Saints, the Vikings go 3-and-out. All right, now talking about the Vikings offense yesterday, you know, I wasn't too disappointed in them. I mean, I get it. You gotta really account for putting up a lot of points. I mean, if they were gonna have to win yesterday, they would need to put up 50 plus. They would need to dominate the time of possession, really shorten the game. Tough task for an offense to go in there on that Saints defense and do it. But if we're just looking at offense versus Saints defense, I thought they did all right. I thought Cousins looked pretty good. The play calling still drives me mad. I'm having a video about that later on this week where I can really break it down. But just my initial thoughts, not really going into film, just seeing what I saw from my eye test. Offensive line is a huge problem that needs to be addressed. I don't think the thing that's really concerning with me is with this offensive line is Garrett Bradbury's decline over the past couple of games. It's really bad, and Brian O'Neill taking a step back too from where he was last year. That's concerning. Dozier, he had a couple nice blocks when Dalvin was running the ball, but again, he's been inconsistent this year. The thing I really like about the Vikings offense, however, is I like the weapons. I mean, they got a ton of talent, but I still think it's a philosophy thing. I mean, yes, Cousins did throw the ball 41 times yesterday, but in certain key moments, they still rely on halfback dive to get them where they want to be. There was no real flair. I mean, for the first time in a couple moments, they saw a screen, a jet pass to Amir Abdullah. Just doing little things like that the Vikings seem to still lack. I thought the offense was fine, though. You know, they had to overcome a lot yesterday. Bad offensive line play, bad play calling, but they still were able to put up 27 points. Kirk Cousins, I mean, this is probably the 7th game in a row he's outplayed the opposing quarterback and the Vikings have lost. I mean, it's incredible that you can have your quarterback outplay the other quarterback and you lose by that much. And normally that means it's a trenches problem. Now, I have a record-breaking stat for the Minnesota Vikings. That's what I'm in the video with, because I think this embodies the Vikings season. The Minnesota Vikings are the first team in NFL history with a running back to run over 1,500 yards and a quarterback to throw 30 touchdown passes to miss the playoffs. They are the 9th team to have a 1,500-yard rusher and a 30 touchdown pass or more quarterback on the same team. The previous 8 won at least 10 games and made the playoffs. The Vikings are also the first team in NFL history to have 2 games where you control the ball for 39 minutes of time of possession or more and lose. The Vikings are also the first team this year to have a 175-plus yard rusher and a 175-plus yard receiver in the same game and lose that game. That was against Tennessee early on in the year. This is a coaching thing. This is a philosophy thing. That's my game breakdown. Who showed up, who didn't, coming to you later today. Live stream tomorrow for the Sunday games right at kickoff. We're going to be talking about this, talking about the Vikings, talking about the future, talking about the NFL, talking about this channel. So if you guys can be there, I'd really appreciate everybody coming out for the stream. Anyways, thank you guys so much. This has been Skol Side, Skol Vikes. Leave a like on the video and comment down below. Purple Pain, baby.